Imagine waking up, stretching your arms, and heading to the kitchen to enjoy a comforting breakfast. The meal so many of us were told is the most important of the day. But what if the very first thing you eat every morning is secretly working against your health? What if a single wrong breakfast habit could raise your blood pressure, thicken your blood, trigger inflammation, or even increase the risk of heart attack or stroke? For millions of Americans over 50, this is happening every day, silently, gradually, and often without any symptoms until it's too late. Today, we're uncovering 5 common breakfast foods that many people believe are harmless, but can quietly damage your heart, liver, or metabolism, plus 5 healthier alternatives and 3 simple habits that can dramatically improve your well-being after breakfast. Let's get right into it. 5 breakfast foods you should avoid after age 50. Pork organ congee and similar mixed organ dishes, whether it's congee, stew, or soup, are honestly extremely high in cholesterol and saturated fat. These are foods that many Americans enjoy every now and then, especially at multicultural restaurants, but for older adults, they're kind of a minefield. Animal organs contain dense concentrations of fat, toxins, and purines, which can raise uric acid levels. For anyone over 50, this means a much higher risk of gout, kidney overload, arterial plaque buildup, and even sudden spikes in blood pressure. A lot of people notice tingling in their feet, swelling in the ankles, or sudden heel pain and never really trace it back to these foods. If you do enjoy them, try limiting your consumption to once a month at most, and avoid pairing them with deep-fried sides or salty broths. Large bowls of beef noodle soup or bone broth-based dishes are, well, a breakfast favorite for many Americans, especially those rich, slow-cooked broths. But these broths are often packed with sodium, saturated fat, and collagen from marrow bones, which can instantly thicken the blood and overload the heart. If you're managing high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or kidney issues, these soups can actually be dangerous. The surge in sodium can cause morning blood pressure spikes, a major trigger for strokes that often occur shortly after waking up. Choosing leaner proteins or lighter broths can really make a huge difference. Chicken, turkey, or plant-based broths are much safer options. Rice rolls with egg and processed meat. Kind of like American breakfast wraps, especially those filled with white flour tortillas, eggs, cheese, and processed meats like ham or sausage, fall right into this category. They combine refined carbs, heavy oils, high cholesterol, and preservatives, which is basically a recipe for inflammation and metabolic dysfunction. These meals digest quickly and cause your blood sugar to spike, then crash, leaving you tired, hungry, and craving more sugar. For seniors, this pattern increases the risk of fatty liver disease, high triglycerides, unstable blood glucose, and chronic fatigue. If you love breakfast wraps, try switching to whole grain tortillas, adding vegetables, and replacing processed meats with fresh lean proteins. So, let's talk about fried leftover rice with eggs, or really any reheated fried carb dish. You know, a lot of households just reheat leftovers the next morning. But frying leftover rice or pasta at high heat actually creates acrylamide, which is a compound linked to higher risks of stomach, colon, and liver cancer. And, well, burnt eggs or charred foods can generate harmful free radicals that speed up aging in your brain cells, contributing to memory decline. For older adults who might already be dealing with cognitive challenges, this can be especially harmful. Plus, if leftover rice wasn't stored in the fridge correctly, It can harbor dangerous bacteria that survive cooking, and that can lead to fatigue, nausea, diarrhea, or even food poisoning. Now here's one of the most common American breakfast traps: white bread with condensed milk or sweet spreads. So, things like syrups or sweetened peanut butter. White bread is a refined carbohydrate that spikes your blood sugar almost instantly. And when you add those sugary spreads, it basically turns into a dessert disguised as breakfast. Over time, this can lead to stubborn belly fat, insulin resistance, fatty liver, inflammation, and even chronic fatigue. The good news is, swapping to whole grain or sprouted grain bread with a little bit of protein can really do wonders for your energy and metabolism. Alright, so let's wrap up with 5 healthy breakfast options that support energy and longevity. 1. Oatmeal with almond milk, chia seeds, and banana. You know, this is a wholesome American classic. Oats are rich in beta-glucan, a fiber that lowers bad cholesterol and keeps your blood sugar stable. When you pair them with almond milk and chia seeds, you get omega-3 fats, vitamin E, and antioxidants to protect your brain and heart. Bananas add natural sweetness, plus potassium, which helps balance sodium and supports healthy blood pressure. Honestly, this breakfast keeps you full for hours and really nourishes your digestive system. 2. Boiled sweet potato, hard-boiled egg, and green vegetables. Simple, affordable, and extremely nourishing. Sweet potatoes are high in fiber and vitamin A, making them just perfect for digestion and eye health. Eggs provide clean protein and vegetables add vitamins, antioxidants, and minerals. Altogether, they stabilize blood sugar, improve bowel health, and give you long-lasting energy, without heavy fats, oils, or preservatives. 3. Pumpkin porridge with lotus seeds. This lesser-known option is fantastic for older adults dealing with stress, insomnia, or digestive issues. Pumpkin is rich in beta-carotene, while lotus seeds help calm the nervous system and promote better sleep. The whole dish is gentle on the stomach and supports liver and kidney function. Here we have a balanced bowl of protein, fiber, and complex carbohydrates. Lean meats like chicken or turkey offer high-quality protein without the burden of cholesterol. Vegetables, they add those essential micronutrients. And brown rice, well, it provides that slow-release energy we all need. This breakfast is just ideal for folks dealing with high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, because it helps keep blood sugar steady and supports heart health. Now, let's talk about a powerhouse meal rich in omega-3 fatty acids that protect both the heart and brain. Brown rice noodles. They digest slower than their white counterparts, preventing those sharp spikes in blood sugar. And the fresh greens. They bring antioxidants that keep blood vessels clean and flexible. It's light, refreshing, and just perfect for maintaining your energy without feeling heavy. So, let's talk about 3 smart habits you can add after breakfast to really boost your health. First up, a light hand and foot massage. It's a small routine, but honestly, the benefits are pretty big. Massaging your hands and feet improves blood flow, helps reduce numbness or tingling, enhances joint mobility, and just supports better circulation overall. Especially for older adults who might notice cold hands or feet, this simple habit can make mornings feel a whole lot more comfortable. Next, try spending 5 minutes meditating or listening to some soft music. After breakfast, your mind is usually clear and pretty receptive. Just a few quiet minutes can help lower stress hormones, calm your nervous system, boost your focus, and support emotional wellness. It's honestly one of the simplest ways to protect your mental health and keep your mind sharp over time. And finally, write something positive or read for a few minutes. Morning writing or reading gets your brain going, improves memory, stimulates creativity, and can even reduce the risk of age-related cognitive decline. Whether you jot down a quick gratitude note, plan out your day, or just read a short article. This habit really helps build a calm, grounded mindset for the whole day. Many people assume that breakfast is just about, eating something to start the day, but for adults over 50, the choices made in the first hour after waking can predict long-term health outcomes more than most folks realize. Morning is when the body is shifting from rest mode to active mode. Hormones change, blood pressure rises naturally, and the digestive system wakes up slowly. This is exactly why certain foods can create sudden metabolic stress, while others strengthen the body and set the tone for stable energy, clear thinking, and healthier aging. Understanding how breakfast interacts with your biology helps you choose wisely. For example, during the early morning hours, the body is more sensitive to sodium. Eating salty foods, heavy broths, or processed meats at this time creates a sharper blood pressure spike compared to eating them in the afternoon. Likewise, early morning consumption of refined carbs causes stronger blood glucose fluctuations because insulin response is less stable upon waking. This is why a sugary breakfast often leads to a mid-morning energy crash, irritability, and cravings. To build on what we discussed previously, let's break down 3 additional breakfast categories that many people over 50 should avoid, and then explore 4 more breakfast options that support stronger metabolism, better heart health, and more stable energy throughout the day. Additional breakfast foods to avoid after age 50. Sugary breakfast cereals and flavored instant oat packets. Many Americans grew up eating colorful cereal boxes with cartoon mascots, or flavored instant oatmeal packets that seem convenient and healthy. But most of these products contain high amounts of sugar, artificial flavoring, and rapidly digesting carbohydrates. For older adults, they cause sharp spikes in blood glucose, inflammation in blood vessels, increased triglycerides, rapid hunger shortly after eating, and worsening of insulin resistance. Even cereals labeled as whole grain or heart healthy often hide sugar in various forms: fructose syrup, malt extract, molasses, or dextrose. When eaten daily, they contribute to stubborn belly fat and higher risk of diabetes. Unflavored rolled oats or steel-cut oats are a much better option, especially when sweetened naturally with fruit instead of added sugar. So, let's talk about breakfast sandwiches with processed meats. Popular morning choices like sausage biscuits, bacon sandwiches, ham and cheese croissants, and fast food breakfast combos are, honestly, extremely high in sodium, nitrates, trans fats, and preservatives. These ingredients damage blood vessels, stiffen arteries, and load the body with inflammatory compounds that accelerate aging. For adults over 50, regular consumption of processed meat increases the risks of high blood pressure, colorectal cancer, chronic inflammation, heart disease, fatty liver, and digestive issues. The combination of refined flour, processed meat, and cheese makes these sandwiches especially harmful in the morning, when the body is most vulnerable to metabolic stress. Now moving on to deep-fried breakfast items. Anything deep-fried, donuts, fried dough, fritters, hash browns, or deep-fried pastries, contains oxidized oils heated to high temperatures. These oils contribute to plaque buildup in arteries, increased inflammation, weight gain, and difficulty managing blood sugar. For older adults, Deep-fried breakfasts also cause sluggish digestion, brain fog due to poor circulation, elevated cholesterol, and, that morning fatigue and sleepiness. The body simply does not respond well to heavy, greasy foods after a night of fasting. The digestive system isn't ready, the liver is still clearing toxins from the night before, and the heart must work harder to pump thicker, fat-rich blood. Let's look at some additional healthy breakfast options to support long-term wellness. One of my favorites is a Greek yogurt parfait with berries and walnuts. Greek yogurt is high in protein and gut-friendly probiotics that support digestion and reduce inflammation. Adding berries provides antioxidants that protect the brain and slow down aging, while walnuts add omega-3 fats that support heart health. This combination stabilizes blood sugar, improves gut flora, and provides long-lasting satiety without heavy fats or refined carbohydrates. So let's talk about avocado toast on whole grain or sourdough bread. Avocados provide monounsaturated fats that help reduce LDL cholesterol and protect blood vessels. When you pair them with fiber-rich whole grain bread, this breakfast delivers steady energy and, improved nutrient absorption. Adding a squeeze of lemon, a sprinkle of chia seeds, or some sliced tomatoes will boost vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber even further. Honestly, it's an excellent breakfast for heart health, brain function, and keeping your blood pressure stable. Next up is a vegetable omelet with spinach, bell peppers, and mushrooms. Eggs are nutrient-dense when cooked properly, and combining them with high-fiber vegetables really enhances nutrient balance. Spinach gives you magnesium and folate, bell peppers offer vitamin C, and mushrooms support immunity and help reduce inflammation. Cooking the omelet with minimal oil prevents unnecessary fat intake while still keeping the taste rich and satisfying. This is a great option, especially for folks aiming to protect muscle mass after age 50, since protein becomes more important as we get older. A smoothie bowl with kale, banana, blueberries, and flaxseed is, well, perfect if you want something light, energizing, and easy to digest. Kale supports detoxification and heart function, bananas provide potassium for stable blood pressure, blueberries improve memory and cognitive function, and flaxseed adds those good omega-3 fats and fiber. This breakfast supports better circulation, improved digestion, reduced inflammation, enhanced brain health, and more consistent energy levels throughout the day. Just remember, try to avoid adding sugary yogurt or fruit juice. Using water or plant milk keeps it healthy. Now, when it comes to building a healthier breakfast routine, there are a few key principles to keep in mind beyond just avoiding certain foods and picking better alternatives. First, focus on fiber and protein. Fiber improves digestion and stabilizes blood sugar, while protein supports muscle strength and helps prevent that mid-morning hunger. A combination of these two really keeps your metabolism steady. Second, reduce sodium and saturated fat in the morning. Your blood pressure is naturally higher right after you wake up, so high-sodium foods like sausage, bacon, and processed soups can cause dangerous spikes. Third, choose whole foods over processed meals. The fewer ingredients on your plate, the better your body can manage digestion, energy, and blood sugar levels. And finally, hydrate properly. A glass of water shortly after breakfast improves circulation, supports kidney function, and helps prevent fatigue. By paying attention to what you eat in the morning, you can dramatically improve your daily energy, digestion, cardiovascular health, and mental clarity. Breakfast isn't just a habit, it's an opportunity to protect your body, strengthen your organs, and support healthy aging for years to come. You know, a lot of people believe that choosing a healthy breakfast just means steering clear of greasy foods or skipping those sugary pastries. But for adults over 50, the real challenge isn't only about avoiding unhealthy options. It's about understanding how those morning hours can either activate the body's healing processes or, honestly, speed up silent inflammation. Breakfast is actually the moment when your metabolism resets, your hormonal system recalibrates, and your organs get ready for a whole day of work. That's why, certain foods and habits put a lot more strain on your body in the morning than they would at any other time of the day. To build on what we've already talked about, it's really worth exploring how breakfast affects specific systems in the body. One of the most impacted is the cardiovascular system. When you wake up, your cortisol levels naturally start to rise, which causes your blood pressure to go up a bit. But if you eat a heavy, salty, or sugary meal within the first hour, that natural blood pressure rise can actually turn into a dangerous spike. Honestly, a lot of cases of morning dizziness, headaches, blurred vision, or sudden fatigue are linked to poor breakfast choices. Yet most people just don't make that connection. Another system that's deeply influenced by breakfast is your digestive system. Overnight fasting slows down gastrointestinal movement, lowers stomach acid, and decreases enzyme activity. So, if you eat foods that are tough to digest, like processed meats, heavy dairy, or fried foods, you're forcing your system to work at full power before it's even ready. That, in turn, leads to bloating, acid reflux, constipation, or, unpredictable bowel movements later in the day. Now let's expand with 4 more categories of foods and habits that older adults should avoid, followed by 5 additional breakfast recommendations that support longevity, smoother digestion, and better energy regulation. More breakfast choices to avoid after age 50. First, large portions of cheese or heavy dairy first thing in the morning. Cheese, heavy cream, butter-rich pastries, and whole milk lattes might seem harmless, but they are dense in saturated fats that quickly enter the bloodstream. For someone over 50, the liver processes fats much more slowly, leading to higher cholesterol, slower digestion, and greater strain on the gallbladder. Consuming heavy dairy early in the morning often contributes to sluggish metabolism, acid reflux, bloating, inflammatory responses, and increased LDL cholesterol. Older adults with lactose sensitivity may also experience joint stiffness or headaches after eating dairy-heavy breakfasts, even if they don't realize the cause. Breakfast burritos loaded with cheese, sour cream, and processed meat are, honestly, extremely popular in American households and restaurant chains. They offer a lot of convenience and flavor, but, they also combine almost every metabolic stressor at once. Refined flour, sodium-packed meats, heavy oils, and high-fat dairy. For individuals over 50, a heavy burrito in the morning can lead to, blood pressure spikes, post-breakfast fatigue, difficulty concentrating, digestive discomfort, and even long-term weight gain. The combination of high fat and high sodium is particularly dangerous when cortisol is high in the morning. Energy drinks or sugary smoothies as breakfast replacements are, honestly, pretty common these days. Many people replace breakfast with energy drinks or restaurant-made smoothies, thinking they are choosing a lighter option. But these drinks often contain 30 to 60 grams of sugar. That's equivalent to several tablespoons. Even fruit-based smoothies at cafes often contain syrups, flavored yogurt, or concentrated fruit pulps. These drinks, rapidly elevate blood sugar and force the pancreas to release large bursts of insulin. This makes older adults vulnerable to things like midday fatigue, irritability, blood sugar crashes, increased insulin resistance, and, even accelerated aging of blood vessels. A real breakfast should provide nutrients, not a sugar shock. Overeating bread and pastries, like bagels, croissants, muffins, and breakfast rolls, may be delicious, but most are made from refined white flour that digests almost as fast as sugar. This kind of breakfast causes post-breakfast sleepiness and cravings. Even so-called whole-grain pastries at supermarkets often contain minimal fiber and include artificial coloring or molasses, just to give the appearance of whole grain. For older adults, excess refined flour leads to stubborn abdominal fat, increased appetite, digestive issues, elevated glucose, and chronic inflammation. Limiting refined flour in the morning leads to far more stable energy throughout the day. Beyond food alone, several morning habits significantly impact aging, heart health, and cognitive function. First, eating too quickly. Rapid eating triggers blood sugar spikes, indigestion, and overeating. Slowing down allows hormones to regulate appetite more naturally. Second, heavy alcohol from the night before. Alcohol disrupts morning metabolism and weakens digestive function. People who drink in the evening often wake with unstable blood sugar and dehydration, making poor breakfast choices even more harmful. Third, skipping breakfast entirely. While intermittent fasting works for some, many older adults experience lightheadedness, irritability, reduced concentration, and metabolism slowdowns when skipping breakfast. The key is eating the right kind of breakfast, not avoiding it altogether. This section really strengthens the overall message. Breakfast is not just a morning routine, but a strategic step toward longevity, better blood pressure control, and overall well-being. When older adults understand the biological changes that occur each morning, they can make smarter choices that support a healthier, longer life. Expanding on the importance of morning habits, it's valuable to explore how different organ systems react to the first foods we consume each day. Aging changes the way the stomach, liver, heart, and brain function, which means that foods that once felt fine at age 25 may now cause discomfort, fatigue, or metabolic instability. Understanding these age-related changes helps older adults choose breakfasts that not only satisfy hunger, but actively protect long-term health. One of the most important organs affected by breakfast is the liver. During the night, the liver performs detoxification, filtering out alcohol, chemicals, medications, and byproducts of metabolism. By morning, it is still completing this process. Eating heavy, fatty, or processed foods too early creates metabolic congestion, forcing the liver to divide its energy between detoxification and digestion. This slows both processes and contributes to fatty liver, inflammation, and elevated cholesterol. Next is the pancreas, which is responsible for releasing insulin. After age 50, insulin sensitivity naturally decreases. This means the body becomes slower at managing blood sugar spikes, especially when consuming refined carbohydrates or sugary drinks. Breakfast choices that contain high glycemic loads, such as pastries, sweet coffee drinks, cereal, or breakfast sandwiches, force the pancreas to overwork, potentially leading to diabetes and chronic fatigue in the long term. The brain also reacts strongly to morning meals. A sugary breakfast creates mental fog, reduces concentration, and can worsen mood instability. In contrast, protein-rich breakfasts with healthy fats supply amino acids and omega-3 fatty acids that support neurotransmitters responsible for focus, memory, and emotional balance. Let's continue with additional morning mistakes to avoid and more breakfast options that enhance longevity. Zero-fat or low-fat packaged snacks sold as breakfast options can be pretty misleading. Items like low-fat granola bars, diet yogurts, and low-fat muffins often contain high levels of sugar to compensate for reduced fat content. Many of these products also contain artificial sweeteners that disrupt gut microbiome balance, increasing inflammation and destabilizing appetite signals. These foods leave people feeling hungry quickly, and honestly, they promote overeating later in the day. Breakfast with excessive spices or chili oil, might not be the best idea. Although spicy foods have some health benefits, consuming them early in the morning can actually irritate the stomach lining. This is especially true for older adults, who may have thinner mucosal layers or even mild gastritis. Plus, spicy foods tend to increase acid production, which can lead to bloating or acid reflux later in the day. Oversized portions, even of healthy foods, can end up being not so healthy if you eat too much. Eating large quantities at breakfast puts extra stress on your digestion, raises your blood sugar levels, and, diverts blood flow from the brain to the gut. That can leave you feeling tired in the morning, which is not what most of us want. Portion control is especially important for individuals managing blood pressure, cholesterol, or diabetes. It's one of those small changes that can really make a difference. Number 4. Flavored coffee creamers. Many flavored creamers actually contain trans fats, artificial sweeteners, and corn syrup solids. These ingredients, are linked to things like inflammation, weight gain, and arterial plaque buildup. For adults over 50, regular consumption can really increase the risk of heart disease. Number 5. Cold or icy breakfasts. Cold foods tend to slow digestion and reduce blood flow to the stomach area. Smoothies made with ice or, say, straight from the fridge items can cause bloating or a slowed metabolism, especially in older adults who already have weaker digestive fire. Warming foods, like warm oatmeal, soups, or steamed vegetables, tend to support smoother digestion. All right, let's talk about some more breakfast recommendations that can really support healthy aging. So, starting your morning with warm lemon water followed by a light meal is a great idea. Warm lemon water helps stimulate digestion, hydrates your body, and supports liver detoxification. Then, when you follow it up with a balanced breakfast, it actually helps stabilize blood sugar and improves nutrient absorption. Next up, whole grain pancakes with berries and just a touch of honey. Unlike pancakes made with refined flour, whole grain versions offer fiber that slows down sugar absorption. Topping them with berries gives you a boost of antioxidants, and, a small drizzle of honey adds a bit of natural sweetness without overwhelming your system. Number 3. Soft-boiled eggs with sautéed greens. This gentle, nutrient-dense breakfast delivers protein and essential vitamins. Soft-boiled eggs are easier to digest than fried options, while sautéed greens provide iron, folate, and magnesium. Number 4. Turmeric quinoa porridge. Quinoa is a complete protein containing all essential amino acids. When cooked with turmeric and a small amount of almond milk, it becomes a flavorful anti-inflammatory breakfast that supports joint health, brain function, and stable energy. Number 5. Pears or apples with a handful of walnuts. This simple combination balances fiber, antioxidants, and omega-3 fatty acids. It is excellent for reducing cholesterol, improving memory, and supporting digestion. So, let's talk about some morning habits that can really enhance the benefits of your breakfast. Gentle stretching is a fantastic way to start your day. Stretching after breakfast improves circulation, supports joint health, and boosts oxygen flow to the brain. It also helps maintain mobility, especially for people dealing with stiffness or mild arthritis. Morning sunlight exposure. Just a few minutes of sunlight enhances vitamin D levels, improves mood, and supports circadian rhythms. Morning sunlight helps regulate hormones like serotonin and melatonin, contributing to better sleep at night. Practicing gratitude or mindful breathing. These habits lower cortisol levels, support emotional balance, and help the body transition into the day with clarity and calmness. Simple practices like writing one line of gratitude can have a surprisingly strong impact on brain health over time. By making strategic breakfast choices and adopting small morning habits, older adults can dramatically improve overall energy, heart function, mental clarity, and metabolic stability. Every morning provides a fresh opportunity to strengthen the body, support longevity, and prevent the long-term impact of unhealthy routines. If you found this helpful, take a moment to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment sharing your own breakfast routine, and follow us for more easy-to-understand, science-based health content. Your engagement helps this community grow and allows more people to learn how to protect their health every single day.